Angela Petrilli, and I am here with my friends at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're gonna have a ton of fun. My beginners, my intermediates, my advanced. This is for all of you. We're gonna be learning Cissy Strut by the Meters, the iconic 1969 funk instrumental. This is a wonderful tune to have in your back pocket. This is a staple at jams. This song is all about musical conversation, all about improv, all about groove and pocket. It's so fun to play, fairly simple. It's going to be only 3 parts, so I will walk you through all of those note by note, chord by chord, and it's just a really fun one to know. So have your electric guitar in standard tuning for this one today. If you have a guitar with single coil pickups, even better, but any electric guitar will do. So before we get started, you guys know I like to ask a question. So let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite instrumental. This is one of mine, so I want to know one of yours. And as always, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. Click that like button, that thumbs up button, all of that good stuff. It really does help. And again, if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear I'm using on these lessons, including the Fluent single width pickups here that I have, you can go ahead and click the link in the video description below. So get those guitars tuned up, ready to go. And here it is, Cissy Strut by the Meters. So there's the tune, really fun one. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the first riff. So as far as the 3 parts go, we're gonna call it riff 1, riff 2, and then like our bridge section, which was that C9 chord. Okay, so those are gonna be the 3 parts. So again, as I mentioned at the top, very simple song to play. The parts are very, very fun. So as far as the gear and how I have this Strat set up, something important, so I do want to mention this. I have it in the bridge position because we really want that nice cutting through sound on that Strat. If I were to go ahead and put it on the neck pickup, notice how the chords sound different. So here's the bridge. Okay, this is what we want. Nice and bitey, cuts through, versus the neck. Notice the difference. Okay, so for this song, we really want a nice punchy kind of tone with our electric guitar. Okay, so something I want to mention. So as far as the first riff goes, I'm going to play it a little bit slower than I did at the top. We're going to break it up into 3 different sections for riff 1. Okay, so here it is slowly. Riff 1. Last time. Okay, so again, those are the 3 parts. Let's go ahead and talk about them slowly. Something that's very important here, okay, as far as our strumming hand. What we want here, keep in mind, alternate picking. So what do I mean by this? We are plucking the top and the bottom of the string. Okay, so I'm not just doing downstrokes. Notice how that would sound. it sounds a little robotic and maybe a little too staccato. So we really want to engage that technique of the alternate picking top, bottom of the string. Notice with my strumming hand, I'll do that again. Doing just kind of a random thing so you can see that top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. So as far as the riff goes, okay, we want to get our third finger here on the 5th fret of the G string. We're going to strike downward. When we go to the 3rd fret of the G string, okay, going from that C to B flat, notice how I did the upstroke, okay, striking from the bottom of the string, going up on that B flat. Okay, it's going to make the sound a lot more fluid when you're playing this riff. Okay, so it's something I want to mention. I do want to take a little time on that. Okay, so we've got 3rd finger is going to go on the 5th fret. Okay, that D string, it's going to be a G note. And notice downward stroke on that G note. The next note there, it's going to be the 6th fret of the A string. It's going to be an E flat. Upward stroke. Finishing the riff with that C note, 3rd fret of the A string, downward stroke. Okay, alternate picking. Let's go ahead and just focus on that first part with that picking. We're going to play it nice and slow, because as I say in these lessons, we can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. So let's go ahead and take our time here nice and slow. Here's the first part of riff 1. So we're just getting the picking part. We'll talk about accentuating the timing of the riff in a minute. Okay, last time. Really focusing on that picking hand. Now with the timing, okay? Giving it a little bit more groove, a little bit more pocket. And even like a little bit of a bend on that E flat, slight, can kind of give it a nice little touch. Let's go ahead and do that again. Now notice how my wrist is pretty straight here. I'm not using a lot of my elbow here. Very nice fine-tuned movements with that alternate picking. Again. And if you want that little bit of that bend on that E flat, do it. So that's part 1 of riff 1. Now let's look at part 2. Okay, so all that's happening there, 1st finger, I like to use my 4th finger. You could use your 3rd finger too if you want. We're going to go ahead and strike that G note, 3rd fret of the E string, or just strike it twice. And there's that alternate picking again, top, bottom. Top and bottom of the string. Okay, then 4th finger or 3rd finger, 5th fret of the E string, which is our A note. Just like that. One more time. Okay, from there, 1st finger, 3rd fret of the A string. It's going to be C, back to A, back to C. So the whole riff, nice and slow, just like that. Well, maybe that was a little fast. I'll go a little slower. Just so excited. It's such a fun song to play. And I am not palm muting this. I want this to be really nice and crisp, so I'm not playing it like that. Notice the difference? This is palm muted. This is what we don't want to do. And then this is not palm muted. Hear the difference? So that's what's happening there. Now let's go ahead and look at riff 1 and riff 2. nice and slowly, and then we will build up the speed. All right? Let me know how everybody's doing in the comments. Here we go. Nice and slow. Again. Last time. Now, let's bring it up a little bit in speed. Here we go. Again. So there we have it. So that's 2 of the 3 riffs in riff 1. So the next part here, there are 2 chords. It's going to be 2 triads, okay? So we're going to have B flat and F. So let me show you how we're going to play that. So first 2 fingers to play that B flat, we're going to get our first finger across the 6th fret of the B string and the high E string. So that should sound like this. Okay? And we want to press that. Okay, so we kind of want to squeeze it with our thumb and our first finger. So that thumb should be towards the bottom of the neck. Okay, pressing through, just like that. Okay, notice how you can't see my thumb because it's doing that job in the back of the neck. Okay, so from there, we're going to get our second finger. We're going to place that on the 7th fret, the number 7, 7th fret of the G string. Okay, so we've got just like that. Now what we're going to do here, we're just going to do a nice, crisp, down, up, and mute ever so slightly with that side of our hand. Because we don't want the chord to ring. Not for this song. Want it nice and crisp. Just like that. So down, up, and then mute with that side of the hand. Now, only strike the strings that your fingers are on, meaning the G, B, and the high E. Just like that. Let's do that again. And this can take some practice, okay? So again, like I mentioned in these lessons, we can't play anything fast, we can't play slow, so take your time here, all right? Down, up, mute, down, up, mute, okay? Now, for the next chord, next triad, it's gonna be an F. So we're gonna get these 3 fingers, okay, our first 3 fingers. First finger is gonna go on the 5th fret of the G string, okay? Our second finger, 5th fret of the high E string, and then our third finger, 6th fret of the B string. That's our F root there, so F, A, and C, the 1, 3, 5. Now, we're going to strike this 2 upstrokes. Okay, really want that punchy high A note to really stand up, okay, when we play that F chord. Just like that. So, let's go ahead and do it from the top, shall we? This is riff 1. So here we go. And again, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. Here we go. From the top, riff 1. So there it is. Let's play it a little bit faster, and then we'll get on to riff number 2. Triads. So there it is. All right, so that is riff 1. So that is, I don't know, I'd say like 48% of the song right there. Done. Okay, so let's go ahead and go on to riff 2. So riff 2 sounds like this. I'll play it a little bit slower. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk through that. So I'm going to break this down into 2 different sections. So riff 2 sounds like this. There it is, C. We don't want F. It's not invited to this riff. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the top. So we've got 3rd finger. This is what feels good for me when I'm playing this first riff. Okay, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string. That's going to be a C note. From there, we go to the 5th fret of the D string. So that's going to be a G note. Then we go back to C. Okay, then from there we go to B flat. So let's just play those first 4 notes. Again. And again. And one more time. Now, what happens at the end of the riff? Just go to the 5th fret of the G string, back to the 3rd fret. So C to B flat. So here's the entire first part of riff 2. Now you can choose to give it a little bit of a, sometimes I like to do that. I'm a fan of vibrato, if you haven't noticed already on the riff rundown. But if you want to play that straight, it's totally fine. Sometimes I just like to do that, but totally up to you. So here we go again. We're going to run this a couple times. First part of riff 2. No vibrato at the end. And don't forget about the alternate picking. I want you to keep doing that. Here we go. Last time. Okay, let's do a little bit faster. Don't forget to alternate pick. Okay, so far so good. All right, let me know how you're doing in the comments. So, we've got next is going to be the last part of riff 2. That's going to sound like this. Okay, better than I did a few moments ago. I'll play that again. Okay, so let me show you how to play that. All right, enjoy the journey, folks. This is so much fun. So, get your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string. 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. And then back to the 5th fret of the G string. Okay, so far so good. Go back to that B flat 3rd fret of the G string. 5th fret of the D string. Finishing the riff with C 3rd fret of the A string. Okay, nice and slowly. Here's that final part of riff 2. Nice and slow. Let's do it again. Don't forget to alternate pick. Last time. Without the, set the note right. Here we go. And one more time, why not? Okay, let's combine it with part 1. Here we go. Nice and slow. Part 2. Again, part 1, part 2. And again. faster. Now, that's riff 1 and riff 2. So when we are playing this, think of the number 4. So all of these parts are going to repeat 4 times. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to play riff 1 4 times, and then riff 2 4 times. All right? So nice and slowly here. Let's go back to riff 1, shall we? Nice and slow. Riff 1 4 times. Here we go. Second time. Third time. Fourth time. Now riff 2 4 times. Second time. Third time. And fourth time. Okay? Then after that, we go back to riff 1. So let's go ahead and do that whole thing just a little bit faster. All right, so here we go. Riff 1, riff 2, 4 times each. If you're enjoying the lessons, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps the cause. Check out the awesome Fishman Fluence single with pickups. Sounding great on this tune today. Really, really loving it. I'm going through a Princeton Reverb 65 reissue with a Jupiter Alnico speaker, if anyone is interested. The gearheads out there. That's the rig that's going on. I'm plugging straight into the amp. There's nothing else going on. All right, so here we go. Riff 1 and riff 2, 4 times each. Let's do this. 2 or 3 more times. 2 more times now. Last time. Let's do riff 1 4 times. Riff 2. Two more times. There it is, folks. Super fun, right? So that is the majority of the tune right there. So we go back and forth, back and forth. So after riff 1, riff 2, we repeat those 4 times. And then we go back, riff 1, riff 2, we repeat those 4 times. And then we go to our bridge section. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play that C9 chord. I love 9 chords, super funky and bluesy and jazzy. It's just like all the good things. It's wonderful. So let me show you how to play it. So we're going to use our first, or our second, third, and first, second, third finger. Yes, okay. Just counting, make sure they're there. Okay, so you're gonna get your second finger on C, 3rd fret of the A string. Okay, first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, that is E. And we're gonna get this 3rd finger here, we're gonna place it across the G string, B string, and high E string at the 3rd fret. It's a great chord. You wanna make this sound even more awesome, like go ahead and plug in a wah pedal and just, it's heavenly. It's just the best. So that's the chord there. And this is all that's happening in that bridge. Now, there is lots of groove, okay? So when you listen to this, they're not just doing this. Again, how I mentioned at the top, right, before we even got into this lesson, that musical conversation, okay? So when we're having a musical conversation with other musicians, we really want to leave space and leave room for groove to happen, right? For other people to come in and do their thing and then come out. It's this really like beautiful ebb and flow. And we see this here. Yes, is it only one chord, but man, is it incredibly impactful. So when you listen to this, it's very sparse, but it is so impactful. So I want you to listen to that tune so you can really hear like how that play is happening with the organ and the guitar and the drums and the bass. It's really great. So a less is more approach to this C9 chord when you're doing that bit of playing with that chord. So again, don't think of it so much as something where you need to make a lot of sound. You don't. Sometimes less is more. I know with me when I'm playing live, less is more, really listening to the other musicians, because you are a team. When you are playing in a band, you are a team. So it's all about lifting each other up. What is going to best serve the song? That is what's really important. So with this, again, just really like loose, funky kind of. Notice how my wrist very loose here as I'm strumming this. Now, I've got that chord, right? But then I've got all I'm doing there, okay? I'm pressing on the chord here, but when I'm not pressing on the chord anymore. So that's how we can get that texture, right? Press the chord when you need to when you want that little texture. Release, but keep your fingers on the strings, okay? Just to, again, create that texture. And see how I'm even sliding up to, you hear that in the song as well. Again, just creating just a really beautiful, groovy, pocket-filled environment. That's what you want here. It's such a great part. And that bridge happens once, and that's it. So after we play that bridge, we go into riff 2 4 times. And then we go back into riff 1 4 times, into riff 2 4 times, and then riff 1, we fade out, okay? So let's go ahead and play from the bridge. Again, gonna be 4 bars of that C9, and then we go into riff 2 and then riff 1, all right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now into riff 2. Two more times. Without vibrato. Riff 1. And folks, that is it. That is Cissy Strut. I've been wanting to teach this one since the very beginning of the Riff Rundown, and I'm so happy to have taught it to you guys today. I hope you have fun with this. It is such a fun song to know. I encourage you, learn this one. This is a great, great one to know. As always, I want to thank my friends at Fishman for helping me run these lessons week after week. You want to check out all the cool Fishman gear. Link is in the video description below. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for building such a beautiful community where we can learn together. And just, I love how everyone is so kind to one another in the comments. It's just really great. So, as always, wishing you all so much success. It's good times here at the Riff Rundown. Everybody, have a great weekend.